Good morning, gamers! Cooper here again for another TF2 commentary tutorial. Today I'll be making another man vs. machine guide detailing this sniper. I hope you found my guide informative and that your gameplay improves because of it. Now the advice I'll be giving you is my own opinion, which is a mix of my gameplay experiences and discussions I've had with other players. Now the first thing we're going to talk about are the loadouts. The sniper is a class with some interesting choices. For the primary weapon, my top recommendations are the Sydney Sleeper and the Huntsman, followed by the Hitman's Heatmaker, the Machina, and the default sniper rifle. In regards to your secondary weapon, your absolute best choice is the Girardi, but if you don't have that, you can always use the Darwin Danger Shield, the Razorback, or the default SMG. For close quarters, I would recommend the default melee weapon or the Tribal Man Shiv. Please note the weapons listed and displayed are listed in order I would argue from most useful to least. Admittingly, I do not own a Hitman's Heatmaker, so I would recommend that you playtest the different sniper rifles to find what works best for you. I do like the rifles like the Machina, but I feel they're more optimized for PvP TF2 as opposed to man vs. machine. Now my favorite loadout uses the Sydney Sleeper or the Huntsman. My secondary weapon is the Girardi, and I use the default melee weapon for close quarters. I like the Huntsman because it allows me to inflict significant damage and bleeding on my targets. The major downside of the Huntsman is its ammo capacity, but it's a nice tool to use because you're not shooting in the first person, so you do get a better battlefield perspective. I like the Sydney Sleeper because it's great for teammate support. It has low damage output, but the ability for allies to inflict mini crits because of the Girardi application is great. If I had to choose one over the other, I guess I would go with the Sydney Sleeper, but the Huntsman is just as much fun. The Girardi is an amazing support tool, allowing for your team to very quickly dispatch waves of robots. And I use the default melee weapon because it doesn't confer any disadvantages to the sniper, and I really don't use it in combat, so no advantage really applies to me. Now that you have an idea about the good loadouts, let's take a look at upgrades. When it comes to playing as the sniper, I tend to ignore the character upgrades, only purchasing health regeneration to just increase my longevity from those odd shots that can hit me. A significant portion of my money goes towards upgrading my primary weapon. When playing with the Huntsman, I like to upgrade weapon damage, bleeding damage, and projectile penetration. Following that, I like to upgrade my ammo capacity, unless I'm close to ammo crates or a dispenser. When playing with the Sydney Sleeper, I like to upgrade charge time, explosive headshots, weapon damage, and projectile penetration. Upgrading the Girardi will be enormously beneficial to your team. The slowing upgrade for the Girardi should be one of the first upgrades you do purchase, and as the waves progress, I recommend you upgrade the recharge time. I would not recommend purchasing any melee upgrades for the sniper. Now that we've addressed the loadouts and upgrades, let's touch a bit more on playing the sniper. The sniper's enhanced abilities in MVM refer to his ability to make most of his weapons pierce multiple targets, cause explosive headshots, and the use of Girardi to slow enemies. The sniper has 3 core responsibilities. Their third most important responsibility involves picking up giants and support classes. By an extension of this, they should be spotting since they likely have an elevated and distant view of the battlefield. As I've said in every one of my commentaries, communication is key in MVM, and using a microphone will help keep the team informed. The sniper's second responsibility is the supporting of allies with Girardi, bleeding damage, and distant fire support. The sniper's number 1 priority should be killing the bomb carrier. Some quick strategy tips for the sniper. I recommend you always use an elevated position. You keep moving and you use cover to your advantage. If you're being shot at, most likely you're either too close or you're not moving enough. I recommend that you always target priority targets like the bomb carrier, giants, support classes, even tanks. The sniper is particularly effective at killing engineers, who are often beyond the reach of heavy classes like the soldier and the heavy. Snipers should always use their Girardi whenever available to support your team. And remember that you are a support class. Your job is to support your allies. I know this may seem like a pointless statement to make, but I've seen many snipers with an identity crisis thinking they're scouts or soldiers. Now I'm going to address an underlying issue in Man vs. Machine, and this is what I call the sniper conundrum. It seems to me, and admittingly, I often share the mindset, that the sniper is not a very useful class in MVM. I feel part of this sentiment carries over from PvP TF2, where the snipers are considered to be an overused class. I think part of people's perception of the snipers and effectiveness is because of the game mechanics and the players themselves. Many snipers use PvP loadouts like the Machina, which aren't as helpful to the team. Those who play sniper are also likely spending most of their time doing pop shots and not using tools like the Girardi, which really make the class worthwhile. From a game mechanic perspective, there is one area where the sniper fails completely. Snipers cannot help with the last stand. The last stand refers to those tense couple minutes in a really challenging wave where the bomb is inches from deployment and the team is doing anything to stay alive, suppress attackers, and kill the bomb carrier. The sniper struggles here because he's fighting in close quarters and he doesn't have the speed of the scout to outmaneuver his enemies. In reality, the sniper can be a very powerful class in the later waves, with high damage output and support capabilities. I think the sniper should be judged more on a player-to-player basis, and is a worthwhile addition to the team as long as the essential classes like the scout, engineer, and soldier have been filled. Some final notes on the sniper. I think the sniper is a secondary class. I think it has great potential in the hands of a good player, but I don't think it has a permanent place on my fantasy MVM team. I actually really enjoyed playing as the sniper when I recorded this footage. I think there should never be more than one sniper on a team, and many competitive teams actually boycott the use of snipers in their entirety. My final note is that players should not play as the sniper unless they're very accurate shooters. I recommend this class to only be played by skilled game veterans. I hope you guys found this guide to be informative. Please comment about any other tips you had on the sniper for everyone else's benefit, and don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Happy hunting, and I'll see you at Frontier.